Shalom, Shem, Yahweh Shai, by Shem Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Root Well. Blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. Noise in this gospel, broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is titled, Stay Locked In. Shit is hitting the fan, man. Okay, stay locked in. Shit is hitting the fan. Okay, which is SHFT, which means shit hitting the fan. There's been a lot going on, man, in the world, in Israel, okay, among the body and just among just in life, period, man. And it's a lot of distractions that's going around in the body that seem to, can kind of throw you off from, the natural way of doing things or moving in the spirit if you're not particularly careful on how you move in this thing, man. I was watching a video from an elder brother Malcolm in Chicago, man. This video he did 2 days ago about how they can't win that war in the Middle East because the weaponry or something like that. Like the weaponry and like the resources and the fact that this is going to be an all-out war due to them wanting to build a particular passageway through that particular region of Gaza. That's one reason why they are at war over there. The small heads are trying to uproot those Palestinians because, to get to the Mediterranean Sea, or to the Mediterranean, which is good in trade, exports, very lucrative land. They have to create like a bearing through there, okay, like a particular straight way, so they can reap the profits, man. Because this global digital currency is getting ready to go online. From BRICS, I believe, starting January 1st, if I'm not mistaken. And it's been coming out that the West is in race to try to halt that because of the simple fact they don't really have the influence, I should say, over the world's resources as they once had. Okay, because we know that America, or Esau, he likes to pillage, rape, and rob nations for their resources to hoard them to himself, which is actually the book of Habakkuk, the second chapter, starting at the 6th verse. If brothers out there want to post that comment, those scriptures. We have to understand now, the time now is what Yahweh Shai warned us about in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, when it says here, the vision is yet for an appointed time, and at the end it shall speak it not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will not tarry, it shall surely come. So now we're seeing in the beginning stages of this third woe, but all these nations are being gathered together to the Middle East, okay, which is the Bering Strait, or the Fertile, not the Bering Strait, Salakia, damn, I'm thinking of Alaska to Russia, the Fertile Crescent, which is that Middle Eastern region where all the troops are gonna gird up to fight the battle of the Lord, man, okay, which in the Bible was known as Armageddon, or Hebrew word Harmageddon, which means the mountain of troops, a troop of mountain of troops. So right now we're seeing a buildup in the Middle East due to these supply chains and these bottleneck, these particular supply chains and these or through geopolitics, I can say, that's gonna have Esau to enter into to do away with themselves, really, because really, if you look at it, the small hats and the common Edomite, they're at war, man. Okay, because the common Edomite is pissed off at the small hat because for the simple fact they don't have the piece of the blessing that they was promised. Okay, because according to Genesis, I believe it's the 27th chapter, when Isaac gave Esau his portion, which was the fatness of the earth. Okay, so with that being said, you got the small hatters, which is the 1%ers, or the JOOs, which is hoarding all the world's resources, man. And now they're doing bank runs, and you got the typical Edomite that's literally living paycheck to paycheck, and they're not too happy about that. So you got a lot of Edomites that's gearing up in these protests right along with the Palestinians, screaming that you small hats ain't nothing but a bunch of T-words, man. And it's the truth, man. You small hats are the big, you are. Okay, you are a terror to yourself. You are a terror to the world. You are a terror to our people first and foremost, man. Okay, but overall, we're gonna see things to pick up, man. Okay, because like I said, once these supply chains halt, and once Esau Edom is not able to have the resources that he so desires, then he's going to declare war, man. And we're seeing that. That's the reason why the dollar is getting ready to collapse, man. And they're secretly bringing in a collapse under the notion of a global currency change, but really we in a collapse, man. Okay, when you look at what happened during 2020, they try to blame the small businesses and the pandemic on why the businesses collapsed, when in fact we was in a retail apocalypse since 2016, 2015, 2016. And I remember personally doing lessons on videos like Payless Shoe Source, Kmart's, all the Sears chains, all these particular Fortune 500 companies went under the last couple of years, all because we was in what they call a retail apocalypse, man. You see? And now the nations are mad at that. So therefore it's like a vacuum of resources, man. And we know that Esau Edom is going to do what he got to do to try to obtain those resources, but the Lord is going to upset him. Okay? So Habakkuk 2 and 3, it says, for yet the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And if you could post the rest of you could post all the way up to like verses 9 or 10, brother, I appreciate that. Because, I mean, it goes into, this chapter in particular goes into the time we live in now, because if you go into the 3rd chapter, it goes into how Esau is going to be taken down, okay, with the vehicles of the Most High, which is known as chariots, that the people ignorantly call UFOs. All right, but while in the midst of this madness, you got our own madness among the body, you know, that we've been seeing with men that was outed years ago. They're still around, they're popping up, going to different brothers, you know, sowing discord. A lot of videos are coming out about who not to deal with and who to watch out for, and to take heed of these false prophets, man, because hey, we're in a time now that Satan is looking to sift. Okay, we're in a heavy sifting season right now, man. And that video, I believe by Passover, we're gonna start putting to death a lot of men that call themselves Israelites, man. But we want to keep our eyes single, for real, because you don't want to fall victim, or you don't want to fall in unison with the scoffers and scorners, man, because the scriptures say he's going to point your portion with the hypocrites, and you don't want that, man. Okay, so with that being said, we got to focus on what we do best, these prophetic scriptures, keeping our minds, our eyes single towards Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, staying brotherly, you know, exhorting, rebuking, you know, and just doing the work. Because right now things are getting ready to take a turn, like this charagma, or the haragma, as the brothers like to say. That's the next major prophecy, man. But what you're seeing in the midst of that prophecy is these tensions building up, like it tells you in Revelation, the 11th chapter. I believe it's also in Revelation 9 and 16 about the 3rd war. But ultimately, it says the 2nd war is past, behold, the 3rd war coming quickly. And when you look up woe goes into destruction, man. Okay, which is equivalent to the world wars, because we know that world wars bring destruction, man. Okay, World War I believe 40 million. World War II, okay, which was literally a little bit, I'm going to say World War I started like around, 1914 or 17. And then you had World War II that started shortly after the Great Depression, which led into the early 40s, which America got acclimated in that war at the last second to reestablish, or to bring into bring the dollar as the world reserve currency based on a fractional banking system known as the Federal Reserve, which was all planned in world wars, man. 80 million people died in World War II. So twice as many people died in the Second World War, which was literally oddly 20-some years apart of that, than the First World War, which I believe was like 40 million casualties. Then World War II, 80 million casualties. So this 3rd war is going to bring death to hundreds of millions, if not billions, man. Because the scriptures say that the dead should be cast out as dung, and their stench would be smelled in a valley of decision, man. So there's going to be a lot of death, man. Okay, and while that war is being fought, you're going to have turmoil, conflict, tensions. Okay, military intervention over here in the West, as we're seeing a buildup of migrants and slight insurrections of the people, because of the resources are being hoarded to these migrants, which came out that these are in fact military men. Okay, and when you go into Ezekiel the 23rd chapter, it goes into young men, desirable young men with buckler and shield, man, handling swords, which is a military, men of fighting age. Okay, and it was estimated, I believe, like over 2 million people have come across the border. And we ain't talking about just in the last couple of months. We're talking about over a course of time. Okay, so you're getting ready to have a civil war in America alone, just off the resources being depleted from the citizens, man. Because I didn't watch it, but I came across something on my news feed yesterday that this guy Brandon Jackson, which is the former, or not the former, but the current mayor of the city of Chicago. And everybody is trying to out this guy because they was like, wait a minute, you spending millions, if not billions of taxpayers' dollars on housing migrants, but yet we can't even get a goddamn Whole Foods in the hood. Like, what's up with you? But yet, you know, these particular shelters, these food pantries, they're running dry. You know, they're running dry because of the simple fact they're hoarding all the resources, man. Okay, and what I found out just by looking at videos and, you know, brothers' testimonies, that a lot of Chicago police are going to these pantries, these food pantries, which they have them in churches, they have them in convention centers. They're going around and they're taking these resources back to the police stations, and then they're feeding the migrants with that, man. Because I don't know if you brothers seen it, but a lot of those migrants are being housed in police stations around the city, man. Hotels, motels, you know, getting funding, you know, jobs and etc. And the average person would think, well, wait a minute, if you're short on military men for a draft, won't you just send the migrants to war? But they're not going to do that because those migrants, most of them are going to be some type of military. Because found out too that they're going to have the power to police the citizens as well. Okay? People that don't even have quote unquote American citizenship will be allowed to police citizens of America. And how do you think that's going to turn out? Okay, people are not going to they're not going to fare well with that, because for the simple fact they feel like, well, these people, they haven't contributed, so why do they have a right to deplete us of our resources when in fact they're not from this land anyway, you know? And it's gonna cause a lot going down to Habakkuk 2 and 4. It says, behold, his soul which is in him is not upright in him, but the just shall live by this faith, right? And we know that Edom's soul is not right in him, man. Because I mean, you got with this guy named Rachel Levine, secretaries of I forgot, of like the Defense Department or something like that. I forgot which particular department Shem works in, but regardless of that, this shows you that this man is incapable of ruling the earth in righteousness, man. Okay, this shows us that, hey, this world needs a new rulership. Found out, I believe, that the mayor of what was it? I believe it was Arkansas, one of them down southern states. He offed himself because he wasn't being properly identified with what he wanted to be identified with, so he killed himself, man. Okay, just straight madness. But yet this is the man who Jake wants to rule over us. Okay, like this guy Biden. Found out that his daughter got rape allegations against him, like he used to molest his daughter, man. No, and that's coming out on this guy. His son is a known goddamn crackhead, a dope fiend. But yet this is the men who Jake was screaming, hey, we won over us. But look at it now. You have inflation. Okay, you have high gas prices. You have high rent. Okay, with no sign of going down. Just alone here in Kansas City, rent has increased, what, I believe 17% in inflation just within a year. Okay, I was looking at some lofts last year that was going for a pretty decent price, and they've marked them up. Now, them very same lofts I'm looking at, one bedroom was going for $1,200-$1,300, when just last year they was going for maybe $800, man, for like 800 some square feet. And this is just within a year's time. So we in them times, man. But yet also he transgressed by wine, which wine is the philosophies. You seeing that they're pushing the madness to the different parts of the world with their alphabet agenda, and then you got nations that's rubbing up against it, man. Like it was this one Iranian woman that they had to offer as, or they had to out her, because for the simple fact she was engaging in the particular, I think she was like a soccer player, or she was some type of sports figure, and they had to out her as because she was going around without a headscarf on, or what they call hijab, or whatever they call it, you know, because they know that it was a known tradition of those Muslim nations for a woman to be covered up and modest. But when she got with for the West, they was like, nah, you know, we ain't doing that no more. And she was pretty much being publicly shamed by our people. And you see a lot of that, man. A lot of these Afghani women, a lot of these Palestinian women, they come to America and they lose a sense of reality, and they become whores, man. And then they get disbanded from their family and their country, and they can't come back because they adopted the American way. Okay, but it says yea, also he transgressed by wine. He is a proud man, need to keep it at home. All right, and this is why he's in the Middle East. Okay, you setting up military bases in Taiwan, Iraq, Afghanistan, you know, among the Saudis. You know, you're doing all these things outside of your jurisdiction, setting up no-fly zones over Syria, which has nothing to do, that's not your land to dictate on how these people do things, man. And you setting up military bases or occupying these countries militarily, which is a declaration of war. Then you want to scream, well, we don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon because of what they may do. Well, how about this? How about you ever thought that the world may have felt that way about you? How about the West disband all their nuclear weapons, man, and their stockpile of ammo of nuclear weapons, man, and Tomahawk missiles? Okay, because clearly you the one that don't know what to do with it, because clearly you're going to be the one that's going to aid in its destruction. Okay, and if it wasn't for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, this man would literally destroy the entire earth 10 times over, because Esau has no limit. He knows no cap. And it says, need to keep it at home, who enlarges his desire is hell and is death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathering to him what it says, gathering to him all nations, all people. But it says, should not all these take a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? But how long into him that laden himself with thick clay, man? And when you go into the word clay, that goes into heavy, thick debt. And right now, America is in a $33 trillion deficit, which they're talking about another government shutdown. Okay, they have to continue to raise the debt ceilings in order to keep the debt ceiling high, so they can continue to borrow more money at the Fed, you know, from the Fed at a 0 to none interest rate, which is quantitative easing, which pretty much it lowers the interest rate on the dollar amount you owe. So this place is in total debt to the bankers, but yet they're staving off the debt off on the citizens, man. Okay, now the Fed thought to raise tax hikes in order to stave off some of the inflation, but how the hell is raising tax hike is gonna help the people when they can't afford to live, man? Okay, what they call it for the greater good, which is complete madness. So we're getting ready to see an inevitable collapse, man. Like the banking system, that's through. Okay, they're doing bank runs. Citizen Bank, which harbors Wells Fargo, Chase, which is one of the biggest banks in the known world. Bank of America, one of the biggest banks or branches in America, man. Okay, Bank of America, very known entity, and yet they're going under. Okay, why? Because they're doing bank runs and they're getting ready to establish a global currency, which will eventually lead to the mark of the beast, man. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you just like this: when this dollar finally collapses, oh, you better believe that they're going to war behind it, and this is what they're doing now, man. This is why Esau is positioning himself in the Middle East. And they were talking about this is the most time in history that they've ever seen this many ships, okay, pertaining cruise missiles, the type of arsenal. This is the most they've ever seen in the Middle East, man. Okay, which there's no such thing as Middle East, but this is the time where they haven't seen this much of a military presence in that particular region since forever. Why? Because we're in those times, according to Joel, the 3rd chapter, when the Lord told them to beat their plowshares into hooks, man, and let the weak say, I'm strong. Okay? Proclaim ye this among the nations, man. Declare war. We're in a time of war, man. Okay? And this is the time that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is going to come and deliver his elect, man. Okay? And this is what we've been hoping for. So this is very exciting times, brothers, man, you know. And like all the shit that's going on in the truth, I can safely say that we're at the end of this thing, finally, you know. So Proverbs 29:2, dyed garments from Basra, it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. That's absolutely right, bro. We are in the midst of a wicked and a perverse generation, man. Okay, you see all the they want to go to war with the government, because it was a poll that came out earlier this year, or maybe late last year, and I believe it was like over 50% of Americans are willing to go to war with their government. It's cops every fucking where. Willing to go to war with their government for insurrection purposes, because they're being depleted of their resources, man. And I mean, it's Edomite cops everywhere. That's the spirit. That's how you know things are getting ready to go down. But anyway, pulling up at the gig, brothers, man. But Lord's will, I do a part 2 to this thing, man. Kind of was all over the place. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get the thoughts together while you speaking in transit on the road, but hey, through the spirit, Lord's will, you brothers and you few sisters were edified. Until the next lesson, shalom, stay prayed up. Hey, stay prayed up, fast, whatever y'all got to do, man, to stay in the spirit. And for you younger brothers out there, hey, just be careful, man. Hey, any ex-GMS member that come to you younger brothers and that's trying to entice you, hey, look the other way, man, for real. All right, any ex-GMS head that's not in good standing with the body, you got to avoid these men, because they're not coming in the right spirit. So just pay attention, man. Scriptures say that there should be ravening wolves that should come among the flock, man. So we're in a time. So with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And with that, Shalom.